from So Strict Studios in the city of Merriweck. One community, proudly diverse. Hot Whoppers Appreciation Society proudly presents Salty and the Champ. Featuring Ned Saltman Chobson and Dave the People's Champ Erickson. With Tom Hilton on special comments from the bar. And me, the announcer of the podcast, Miguel Gonzalez. Today, all the way from New York City, our very special guest Showcomer. Thank you for listening today. Now, over to you, Salty and the Champ.
Oh, that's okay. We'll keep it in. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Salty and the Champ, episode 8. We're already at episode 8. Did you think we'd make 8 episodes PC?
I did not.
Neither did I. Surprised we got here, mate. I'm really glad to have you back again. You know me. I am Salty, the Salt Man. Ned Jobson, the Salt Man. That was a bit of a Red Simon's gong right there. So tell me to sign off already.
Trying to put buttons out of a job.
He's waiting to get on.
Never.
Over here we've got my main man,
Champ.
the People's Champ. He's back again. Doing all right, mate?
Very good.
Having a good one.
How are you?
Really well. We're sort of warmed up now. Our first and fourth episodes might be a little bit awkward at first because as the first one's in the recordings, we sort of need to find our groove.
Yeah, need to warm up.
But you know, you warm up and then you're in it, and so I feel like this episode's going to be probably a bit better than the last one. So I hope so. Hope we get some views. So the last episode I saw was like around 4 views, which even for Whoppers standards is low.
It's piss week.
But you know, I've said it before. Even for an audience of 1, I'm happy to do this.
Yep.
So I like having fun with these guys, these silly guys. And we've got over here we got Buttons on his usual duties, and Joe is back again. Joe Comer, welcome back, Joe.
Thank you for having me here again, and
Thanks for sticking around.
It's such a pleasure.
It's
such a pleasure.
Remember back on I'm not sure. I can't think of any example shows right off the top of my head, but they'd say, "You're going to stick around? You're going to stick around?" And they'd stay for the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
I feel like that.
Like
Joe, you're going to stick around?
I'm going to stick around. I got to shift along the couch.
Yeah, that's it. Right on. I love those sound effects coming in. It just adds that little X factor to the record. It does. Beautiful. We'll get straight into the episode because I cannot wait to talk about this next one. And maybe we should have brought it forward because this is going to now come out a couple of weeks. Hopefully she's not out of the conversation just yet.
That meme will still be going.
It'll still be going. Of course, we're talking about Ray Gun. Good fucking. He's quick, isn't he? He's quick, and he looks them up after the episode, so he gets what he needs. Tomo, love ya. Need to shout him out a bit because I accused him last episode of not doing a great job, but he's doing an awesome job. I just wanted to emphasize that he's doing an awesome job. Continuing.
I've already used the
There you go. But yeah, I cannot wait to talk about Ray Gun. I've put this down as a Paris Games reflective, but really, it's just going to be about Ray Gun because overtook the scene. Amazing, isn't it? So, well, first of all, congratulations to the Aussies for doing another great job there at the Olympics.
Record medal tally, gold medal tally.
I think a really good one.
Did we get more?
I think
Sydney?
so.
I think it was a record.
Yeah. We were up in 4th or 5th or something by the end.
Yeah.
So not bad. Do you check out a fair bit of the Olympics, Joe?
Oh, I did.
Yep.
Yes. I love to stay up late, so the European time slot perfect for me.
Worked out nicely.
Yeah.
Nice. Which events do you like?
Do I care about the sports that I was watching?
No.
Very little.
Yeah.
But
I just
really
caught random
into
ones
it.
usually at dinner time.
I love the extreme sports actually. So I watched a lot of the BMXing.
Yep.
Caught a lot of the skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do what they were doing? I mean, can I do
That one was for your request.
My request, yeah.
Can I do what any of the people at the Olympics were doing?
No.
God no.
You could flag bear.
I could flag bear. I could potentially try to do some of the moves that Ray Gun had.
You could probably do 90% of what she does, if not all.
Yeah. I certainly can't ride a BMX down a slope and then do a jump and then get off the BMX and flip and then land on
Would you think that is one of the, on the spectrum of achievable to completely unachievable things that people do in the Olympics, is that up close to that extreme?
I think it's right up there.
Yep.
I think that BMXers are really among the core athletes.
To me, just pole vaulting seems to be just like, what is happening there?
What is happening there?
Because that's like, regardless of how big your cock is, that just seems unachievable. Like, how do they get with that little flimsy pole? Like, I suppose it's supposed to be flimsy so that it kind of ends and flexes and brings you back up, and just seems crazy.
Let me tell you one thing. I couldn't with the pole I'm working with. I could certainly not do the pole vault, if you know what I'm
literally.
saying.
Not literally. Yeah. What do you reckon of the pole vault?
Yeah, it's good sport.
It's pretty
sport.
pretty
Good traditional track and field sport.
Steve
I'm,
Hooker?
I'm probably the opposite to Joe. I don't like the extreme sports. I don't think they should be in the Olympics. They got the X Games. Fuck them off over there.
You talked about this last time, but fair enough.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get into it in a second, but I think you
Like that.
maybe have
Javelin,
some evidence to
hammer throw.
Yeah,
They're impressive ones.
yeah. Oh yeah, those ones, those classics that you only see at the Olympics.
Yeah,
they got to stay.
That's right.
They got to.
That's
stay.
what I think the Olympics should be for. The events that really only get the exposure there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's their pinnacle.
I heard it argued the events where there is no other high forum.
Exactly.
Like the X Games gold medal is
Yeah.
probably equivalent
Yeah.
to an Olympic Games
Yeah.
gold medal for skateboarders or BMX
Yeah.
bikers, but for an athletic
Track and field.
it's
It's Olympics.
really the peak.
Olympics.
It's the peak.
Yeah.
That's everything
Swimming,
for
it's
them.
really the peak. It's
Yeah.
way
For sure.
higher than the World Championships.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
So ray gun. I mean, we saw the Turkish shooter. We saw the pole vaulter with the well endowed pole vaulter. But no one took our hearts quite the same way that ray gun did. To look up a little bit of info here.
she qualified.
Yes.
And she won the
Obviously,
Australian champs in the qualifying.
Yeah.
But apparently, it was difficult to even get into the qualifying. So you had to have a passport. You had to be able to fly up to Sydney for the qualifiers at short notice.
Right.
Both of which are things that apparently a lot of people in the breakdancing community don't have.
She's one of those rich academics.
Yeah.
It was arranged apparently very hastily.
Right. Well, I mean, evidently. Yeah.
And there was only 16 women in the qualifiers.
Right.
And apparently she qualified at the top. Must have been a better performance than qualifying in the Olympics.
I just don't see how that's possible. But
I'd love to just double tap on this idea of a PhD in cultural studies making you earn a lot of money. But,
That's the joke.
we can leave it there.
What was your reaction when you first saw it, Ned?
to be honest, my reaction was actually one of the more annoyed, sort of upset upon seeing it for the first time. I'm like, yeah, a little bit. I was like, hang on, what's going on here? This is supposed to be for people who can actually do stuff, right? This is supposed to be for the best of the best. And I was actually quite excited to see the breakdancing in the Olympics. I was like, I wouldn't say excited, but interested. Yeah. And and of course you're naturally going to be, cheering for the, your countrymen and women. And so when I saw that what we were offering there, I'm like, what? But I think I was initially, I was pretty pissed off for what I would assume to be, number of other female breakdancers who would have been certain that they would have done better, that didn't get that chance. So that was my initial reaction. But then the memes came in.
Leave Billy alone!
And then I was like, hang on, this is actually fucking funny. So I had a bit of fun with it. And then I'm like, actually, she's not that bad. But now I think I've actually flipped again. I'm like, hang on, if you really think about it. It's all fun and games to laugh at, but I think, it's kind of a shitty thing to do if you ask me.
What, the performance?
To just
or the memes?
Do that. Because I'm in a similar age and similar profession. I am in my late 30s.
You're a closet B-boy?
And a closet B-boy. No, I teach young people the
breakdancing,
graphic design. But breakdance. She teaches breakdancing. I teach graphic design.
Yeah.
And I would just think how awkward I would feel, and like a bit of a wanker if the equivalent event was happening for me. If I was sort of wanting to represent young graphic designers, the best of the best, myself, instead of perhaps giving it to a better, younger, more qualified.
It'd be like
more
if you're at
capable
like a
competitor.
graphic design or Photoshop Olympics and you put up something in Comic Sans.
Yeah. I mean, you're just having a joke. You're just having a laugh.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was what I thought about it. And I was just puzzled. I think my puzzling is just how how did that get there? Yeah. That classic one. How did that get there? Joe, what did you make of it all?
So it is puzzling. I mean, you know me, I love a bit of discourse.
Sure.
And I love a bit of discussion. She has prompted a lot of discussion.
Absolutely.
And there's discourse, there's meta discourse. There's discourse about the discourse about did she intentionally go to the Olympics and put in the performance she did to make comment about the sportification of breakdancing and it being at the Olympics, which she has published about already.
Yeah, right.
And so there's this ongoing stuff about it, and I'm not sure what to make of it. I don't really know. I feel like Rachel Gunn, Dr. Rachel Gunn, probably couldn't be happier with how memeified she's become.
Sure.
And how like her performance has led to a lot of memes and a lot of comment about like, should breaking be at the Olympics? Is it dominated by people that are like wealthy white people rather than the like people of color and young people from marginalized backgrounds that it should be blah-de-blah-de-blah. My final standing, I'm not quite sure. I don't know if this is permanent, but I'm kind of on Ray Gunn's side a little bit. I don't know if it's just in this context. I just want to be like devil's advocate and like disagree with the champ over here.
For sure. No. Someone's got to plead her case.
I like, I mean, in fairness, I think she did actually win like the Oceania Championships.
Well, yeah, I mean, she absolutely had to have won something.
She went through the correct process and she qualified.
And like in her defense, like she's still much better at breaking than like
and you
almost
see
everyone else.
Yeah, and you see other videos that she's like I think after the event, in the Olympic Village where she's like doing what you would consider more competent moves.
I put it to you that the silver medalist in female breaking, who is a teenager from Lithuania, who wore a do-rag,
right,
and goes by Nika.
Oof.
There's ultimately much more to unpack about what she's doing.
You're taking the piss.
than what Ray Gunn was up to.
What did she do?
Well, she won the silver medal. She's really fucking good at it.
Right. Yeah.
But she's also
it's always been a strong breaking company, Lithuania.
Why the do-rag is my question. I mean, she looks kind of silly.
Maybe it's a thing over there.
But then again, the thing that pissed me off about Ray Gunn, ultimately the most, probably that ugly ass fucking track.
The track is
that really makes it a lot worse.
I thought the tracksuit was all right.
No, you just know that that's going to be one of the highest selling Halloween costumes in 2024.
Oh, absolutely.
That's going to make a huge comeback end of October.
And I love Australiana. I love green and gold.
Yeah.
Looked like
Aussie!
Looked like the tracksuit that the cricketers wear.
Yeah. Well, especially when she did that bowling move, warming up, Dennis Lilly style. Yeah. That's the one that got me. Like watching that whole 4 minutes, however long it was. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, just like, as I said, puzzled the whole time. And then she breaks out that one. I'm like, I'll lose it. Fucking lose it. We'll have to put little clips over the. Yeah. I'll let it Ray Gun in. Don't worry about it.
Ultimately, I don't know where I stand. What about you? Buttons? Tomo?
Oh, me? Sorry, I'm just pressing the buttons over here.
You could be brought in for special comments as well.
Ray Gun was a rare moment where I felt less online than other people. For whatever reason, I wasn't really paying attention those couple of days. And Dave actually texted me asking to make sure I had buttons related to Ray Gun for this recording. And
I originally texted you because I wanted a meme, because you're like my main
you wanted
You
wanted me to like make a picture. See, I thought I was like, I have my mind on this podcast. But I had watched the first, because it was on really late, right? It was on at like 1 a.m. And I was watching it, and I watched her come out, and I thought, she looks pretty goofy. I watched like 5 minutes of it, and I turned it off and went to bed, and I didn't think about it again for 2 days. And then I got your message, and I'm like, I got to go on Twitter and have a look what's happening here. I'm like, oh, I see what's happened. And it all makes sense now in retrospect, but I didn't make anything of it at the time. I thought it looked a little odd, someone that old.
Sure.
And, she looked out of place.
Yes. Yeah. Even with someone who hasn't watched much breakdancing at all, you can kind of tell, hang on, is that right? Doesn't look right. Yeah. Well, Reagan, we salute you, or do we? That's the thing. I think that's what most people are left with is just
one
the
of the
sense
funniest
of
things I've ever seen.
yeah. It's just odd, isn't it?
It's like I was it Friday night or Thursday night it happened?
Can't remember.
I was,
on the weekend, wasn't it?
It was school night. I think that's why I went
was
to
it?
bed.
Right,
Well, there you
yeah. I think I saw like a couple of memes about it Friday night and wasn't sure what it was about. And then Saturday morning, I saw some clips of her breaking, like short 15-second ones. I'm like, this can't be real. It's it's fake.
go. Yeah.
And then I was going into Collingwood on the tram because I made out from England and everyone's going out the beers. And I saw like a few longer clips, and each one was better than the last because there was extra moves that I hadn't seen, and I was absolutely pissing myself laughing. And that's when I messaged Tom on Saturday and said, "Can you do a meme like that leave Brittany alone thing, but leave Reagan alone?" 'Cause everyone
I
started
will do
taking
that
the
for
piss
you
out of
now.
it.
Now that I know what you actually wanted.
No, I've got one now.
Oh, you got
I'll send
one?
it to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Too late.
And then I reckon I've seen about 30 or 40 Simpsons memes since, and it's some of the best Simpsons meming I've seen since probably like
The one with wheeling out Martin. Like,
Yeah.
Don't let the children see.
Yeah.
that was very
There's one where she's like that on the ground and Dr. Nick's like, "Oh, you need booze." And one when she's like that and it's like Raygun sleeps in an oxygen tent because she gives her super breakdancing powers. He's like, there's dozens of them. It's probably the best
We'll
Simpsons
put 'em all
sporting
up. We'll
meme
put 'em
I've
all up.
seen
Yeah.
since Steve Smith went bananas in the Ashes, and there was like memes like, that Homer all you could eat. Where Smitty just was at the bowling machine, he wanted more balls. But it's just so good.
It was
so
it was
good.
right for the picking, wasn't it? Like,
I think in conclusion, the Olympics are good for memes.
oh yeah,
Breaking doesn't belong at the Olympics, but the Olympics are great for memes. She started a conversation.
oh big time.
probably what she wanted
does. No one's talking about. Sorry, there's no better conversation. No bigger conversation has been made from this Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Has been produced from this Olympic Games.
Like, I wonder how long she'll be at the forefront of like memeage. Or will she disappear
Hope-
in like 2 weeks like Hawk Tour Girl?
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
She seems to still be around. Hope at least another 10 days or so, because I think
Yeah.
that's what we're looking at for this episode to come out.
Shoot
So.
them all and let God sort them out.
I do
yeah.
love the defining memory of the Paris Olympics. Forget all the actual like quality and the
Yes.
world coming together. It's
The
just
medals and
maybe
stuff.
the defining image will, for me, be the Turkish guy
Turkish shooter. Yeah.
with ray gun as the gun. You've seen that one, but there's just it is the world coming together. France, Turkey, Australia.
Yeah.
Who needs to know about some random Caribbean country winning their first gold medal?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's it's fair. It's
Reagan's
good for them. Like they know they care, but otherwise, yeah, it's ray gun every day.
Did you see Snoop Dogg dressed up at the equestrian?
I saw a lot of Snoop Dogg during the Olympics. Actually, was he some sort of?
He looked like Princess Anne.
Was he a representative of sorts? Because he was in the closing ceremony.
It must
advertising
be either
LA
he really
2028.
loves the Olympics or it's because it's going to LA.
Say what?
I'm not sure if he was there because it was going to LA and he's
Yeah.
there to like represent LA the whole
Yeah,
time.
that's
but
what
he
I
seemed to
thought.
like really be getting into it.
Yeah, yeah. It's such a.
Like he loves the horses apparently.
Yeah.
And was at quite a bit of the athletics.
I think someone said it online. Snoop's just doing side quests these days,
Yeah.
and it seems so apt. Like he's just vibing, just doing
Maybe it's like
interesting, cool shit.
Maybe it's like a Vunta Snoop. Like, there's not just one, there's like heaps of them.
I mean, if I was worth several $100 million and love smoking weed, I'd probably be doing a lot of side
Do as many
quests
side
as well.
quests as you can. That's
Get
all
high,
that's
go to
all
the
that's left.
equestrian, dress up like a horse.
Unfortunately, only one of those things is true about me. So.
And another thing I wanted to touch on from the Olympics is Gerard Colin. Jared Waitley.
Waitley.
Jared, I always call him Gerard. Jared Waitley. He somehow found himself over there in Paris, calling the games.
He's a fairly regular Olympics caller, though, I think.
Right? Yeah.
So,
Well,
and he's pretty
can't
good.
remember. Oh yeah. No, he knows his way around a track or field or whatever else he was calling the pool. But I was thinking whenever I heard him during the Olympics, I was always thinking, how funny would it be? How classic would it be if Robbo was calling with him?
No, we got to stop being scared of life. You got to embrace life.
That's probably what he's saying to all the haters for Ray
Rob,
Gun.
Robbo would be sitting there with like just wine stains all over his shirt the whole time.
He'd definitely love it in Paris then.
Yeah. How good are the bagels, Gerald? No, it's, what is it? Croissants, yeah.
But I tip my hat to Robbo. That's what Raygun was saying. You know, just take life by both hands. Just do it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think Robbo could offer because, you know, Waitley, he's just, you know, business.
He's a nerd.
He's a nerd. He'd be doing his research. You know,
Yeah.
he wouldn't allow himself
Getting
to
all
sort of
professional and shit.
Yeah.
Robbo don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I reckon you should take Robbo over for the vibes because you want to appreciate, you know, the fact that we're in Paris, mate. It's the Eiffel Tower. That's what I wanted to see a bit of.
I mean, it's a revolution. I mean, speaking of the French Revolution, Champ, did you like the metal bands? Gajira playing in the
Yeah.
opening ceremony.
Cannot
That was another
believe
great
they got
Olympic.
That was
They're
probably
not-
the first kind of discussion point of the Olympics was the opening ceremony and how demonic it was.
They're not just like a slightly heavy band. They're a proper, like, very heavy metal band. To have them at opening ceremony, I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Opening. I liked it. I liked it a lot more than the like endless parade of gender non-conforming people just wearing boring clothes, sopping wet.
To be honest, I didn't catch much of the opening ceremony. I only saw the highlights. But that was one that goes Euro.
Yeah, I just watched a bit of Gajira and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're looking forward to 2028 LA?
Yeah.
And you would like to see breakdancing dropped.
Yes.
Exit out, bring it back to the X Games.
Get rid of it.
I
Fuck
think
it
I
off.
think they've already decided that.
Already dropped.
Yeah, well, there was
They
never,
don't,
it was
yeah.
never on the cards for LA anyway. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But do you know what's coming in 2028? Squash. Squash is coming to the Olympics for the first time.
I wouldn't mind that. I
That's
actually,
been in the Com Games for a while, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
after sort of retiring as a sportsman in sort of 1996 as a 10-year-old, the only other sort of competitive sport that I've played, not professionally, but you know, casually, was squash, and I played that with Jake Lindsay. I think it was Jake, or was it Sam Harvey? One of the whoppers out there. Remind me if I played squash with you back in the day. I think it was one of those two fellas.
It could be unfair
Maybe
playing
both of
against Jake because he could probably reach across the whole court.
He's pretty limber.
He could reach
He's just
about a
pull out his
centimetre
racket,
as much as
yeah.
Paddy Ryder could,
Yeah.
just a centimetre under,
But
but
because he's slightly shorter as well.
slightly short.
I love
Shout
it
out to
as
Jake.
squash. It makes me think
It's
of
cool.
a Woody Allen film.
Yeah. It's a
What
very
a squash
very New
being
York
played in-
sport. We come back to New York a bit later on.
It's a
But-
proper hard sport as well. Like you got to be super fit to be good at squash.
Yeah, and I wasn't very good at it. I was fitter than I am now when I was playing it, but yeah, it is. Yeah, it takes it out. That's why you play. It's a good workout. You know, running all over the place and yeah, hitting that little ball. It doesn't bounce as much as you think it should. Should bounce more than it should. Should bounce more than it does. I'll be watching that with keen interest in 2028 at LA. What are you looking forward to in LA?
Well, definitely the squash, and they're actually bringing in a bit of softball, baseball and softball again.
Right on.
And
Cricket.
also,
Cricket in LA.
Cricket. Yeah.
What a odd city to bring that in for.
I didn't know they did that twice. They actually just had the
Yeah,
World
they
Cup
just had
there.
the T20 World Cup in the States.
Oh, really?
I don't know why they're bringing it in because there won't be that many countries because there is no West Indies in the Olympics.
Yes, of course,
So
because
they're all
they
small
compete for their own.
countries.
Yeah.
So you have to have your country has to have an Olympic committee,
Yep.
which the West Indies, because it doesn't exist as a country, doesn't, and that's why there's no England or Scotland or Wales
Yes.
in the Olympics. There's Great Britain.
I mean, the world of international cricket could get shaken up a little bit, though. I mean, the ICC is not necessarily known for being the best managed or least corrupt body. So maybe,
No.
am I allowed to say that on the internet?
Please do.
Please
do
do.
not sue
Many
me.
people do.
ICC people. But I mean, I think it could only be good for the sport. Maybe you see, like, I don't know, Guyana, Jamaica. Maybe they can.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
want
I know,
it.
I don't think it will be good for it. I think it encourages more short form cricket, which is associated with franchise sport rather than traditional Test cricket. Now you don't hear that intro on any short form cricket because it's not on 9 anymore.
And what is on 9 is the Olympics,
Yeah,
and then what's on 7 is the cricket.
yeah,
What the fuck?
gone topsy turvy. It's bizarro world.
It is.
Tell you what, don't sleep on the United States team when you're watching cricket in 4 years' time, though, because they might be pretty good. If the standard of cricket I'm seeing at Canarsie Park, from all of the like South Asian migrants to the United States, like they're pretty good. You see surprising amount
one of the
cricket
better
being
associate
pull
nations
from, wouldn't they?
They're one of the better associate nations at the World Cup.
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, I mean, they got a huge population, huge migrant population, so they'd have a lot of talent to draw from. You would think.
Calling it now, final between the United States and
Joe.
What were you calling?
The final will be between the United States and Namibia.
Crazy.
Bronze for Afghanistan.
That's a big call. I reckon Australia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aussies for
so.
gold.
Aussie! Oi, oi, oi!
We've got too many gold medals, to be honest.
Too many.
Yeah, too many.
Get more.
Get rid of a few. Get rid of a few. Reckon.
The Fox family, too many gold medals.
Yeah. Yeah. I reckon. Too many. Too many gold. Too many gold coins. Yeah.
I can't wait to not think about the Olympics for about 3 years and then start thinking about them and then have them fly by in another 4 years'
big time. Yeah. Yeah. They do. And what was interesting is there was only really a 3-year interval between our last games and this one because, of course, going back to 2020 when the world shut down. I don't know if you know, but there was a pandemic out there.
Dan Andrews did it.
It was a complete dandemic, as they say.
Dandemic, yeah.
Fuck, there were some cookers. It was great.
In fairness, I honestly can't tell you to this day whether something happened in 2020 or 2021 for the most part.
They bleed together pretty
year.
Yeah.
That year that lasted for 24 months really cooked.
2021.
I remember Essendon was shit both years. I remember that.
Made the finals in 21.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Did you win one?
No, made the finals. If we won one, I would have said we won a final in 21.
A football game.
Fun fact, I know you don't care about this as much, but Hawthorn were also not very good. However, St Kilda did make the finals in 2020, and we won our first final in
Good decade.
a good decade.
Yeah, right on.
Yep.
Good on you, St Kilda. Well, I think that's probably a natural transition time for returning to the footy. We had to give a bit of love to the Olympics because that was what was current and that was what was happening. We're talking about Reagan and all the rest. But
we interrupt this public affairs program to bring you a football game.
That's right. And we have to talk about a couple things going on. Those two things that are going on. Essendon out of the 8. Hawthorn into the 8.
Say that again.
Yeah.
It's Essendon out of the 8 and Hawthorn into the 8.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
You would have thought.
Actually, I did. I
would have
think I
feared.
mentioned it perhaps episode 1 or episode 2. But it went further than I thought. I thought we could sneak into 8th and you might drop down to 5th and we could knock you out in the
because we were
first
talking
week of the
about
finals.
we were talking about a potential finals meeting.
But it's gone further than that.
If there is any possibility of a finals meeting, it would have to be Hawks in 5 and Essendon scraping into 8.
Yeah.
Which won't happen.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, it looks like Hawks are going to make a finals appearance this year, you'd think, with their last couple of games.
Come on, man.
They're probably going to cling on to that 8th spot.
Would be hard to see them missing it, given they're playing the 2 bottom teams in the last 2 rounds.
And there's been, I guess the 8's already had its kind of, the arse has already fallen out of it.
Yep.
So you probably wouldn't expect, I don't know exactly what the numbers look like, don't know what the last couple of rounds look like, but I don't expect much more movement.
Yeah, I don't think it changes from here. Like Carlton would have to pull one out of the bag to sneak in, which it doesn't look like they're going to do because they've got about 60 blokes injured.
Yeah, 17 I think on their list.
Yeah,
crazy amount. Yeah.
It must be said, Hawthorn are playing quite well.
The
Beyond
Hollywood Hawks
playing to the 2 bottom teams in the final.
Maybe we'll get
2
Hawthorn
rounds.
to make an appearance in LA 2028, being the Hawthorn Hawks.
Oof, nobody wants to see that. I mean, I will say one thing that probably unites us all is that Carlton are suffering. And
You put them to the sword on the weekend.
I saw a comment online during the week. St Kilda have a chance in the final round to do something very funny, which is nice. We have a chance to really seal the deal
Right.
by beating Carlton.
Beautiful. Do it.
I mean, they might not make it anyway.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, it might be. Yeah, because they've got they got West Coast this weekend over there, but are very very depleted, and I think West Coast can smell blood. So it might be a bit of a tricky one for him.
Jurassic Park.
You're hearing it more and more, though. The two most beautiful words in the English language: mathematically possible. Hold out hope, Essendon fans.
Oh,
it could
been
still
clinging on to
happen.
mathematically possible for 20 years.
Let's agree to disagree.
At least I think until we were demolished by Brisbane, even St Kilda could have technically made it.
Sure.
And Sydney could technically still not have made it.
Right.
That's how crazy this season in the Australian Football League has been.
It's been, the Eights had a real, as I was saying before, like it's really had a big shake up over the last few rounds, but it's probably going to settle now. But Sydney looking like absolute, having sort of full rights to the cup all year until the last month, where they've just shit the bed. And now we've got them.
Are they still on top of the ladder?
Yes, because they were so clear. That they had a huge buffer.
Yeah.
But they've worn it down to a nub now.
Maybe it's deliberate. Maybe they're tapering so they rest up a
Couldn't
bit.
put past them. Couldn't
come
put
out
past
firing.
those slick Sydney slickers.
It's all strategy for them to be scoreless against Port Adelaide, while Port Adelaide scored something like 15 goals.
That was grunt worthy. That game, that was crazy. Couldn't believe my eyes when I checked that score. Essendon just
It says here on the running sheet that Ned wrote, I imagine possibly shortly after Essendon's game finished on the weekend, it says, Dons are a mentally weak team of cowards.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how I felt.
Let's explore that.
I don't want to be too harsh, but after the game, well, not after the game, after the probably fourth or fifth behind in the last quarter.
Who did you play?
We had Gold Coast down here, who haven't won away from home for I don't know how many games until that one.
17.
There you go. So, I turned it off about 3 minutes to go when we missed our sort of 6th or 7th shot at goal.
Didn't it go right down to the last few seconds?
Yeah, it did. And I refused to watch the last few minutes because
I'm not going to get sucked in by this bullshit.
It was a shot after the siren.
Yeah, the shot after the siren by
Mac Andrew.
Yeah, by Mac Andrew, Gold Coast player. So it was theirs
Sounds like a breakdancer.
it's theirs to win. But we had nine behind, so 9 chances to essentially seal it.
Just how before, Joe, you were saying there's this saying like that's such a St Kilda thing. That's such an Essendon thing.
Well, they're pretty interchangeable, really. Certainly last couple of decades.
The difference is, of course, that St Kilda are just cursed, whereas Essendon cheated, and since then you have not been successful.
Well, not since,
It's
but
called
previous
karma,
to as well.
I believe.
I believe that's what it's called.
The universe took some negative energy from you that you gave out, and now it's giving it back.
It's the reason why Carlton's streak is now the second longest after St Kilda's since 1995. They've not won a premiership, and they have won many wooden spoons and been
30 years.
Had
relentlessly
about
shit
800 number one draft picks
because they cheated.
because they cheated.
Because they were the brown
cheated.
baggers.
We've atoned for that. We have paid the piper.
Yeah, I think you have.
We have.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we've talked about that on the pod. We had our famous episode 3, the Saga special, where we put it all out on the table. We threw down in that episode, and yeah.
I mean, I had to reopen the wound.
As I said then, some wounds never heal. Some wounds never heal, Joe. So.
Like being a St
especially
Kilda
when
fan.
you pick at them.
Exactly. It's my choice, my decision to put that on the agenda. So, yeah.
Let's all just pile on Carlton.
Yeah,
That really
exactly,
is what
right.
unites
And that's
us all.
that's what makes this bed shitting that
All right,
much more tolerable.
What's a bigger collapse this year, Carlton or Essendon?
I think because of where Carlton got to last year, Carlton.
Yeah, I'd agree. They had way more expectation on them. They were
thinking flags.
They were thinking flags.
Expectations aside,
And we were never
who's had the
flags.
bigger collapse this year?
Carlton
where
were
they got
top,
to and where they
Carlton were
ended up.
top 2 with a game clear 6 weeks ago. And
They
now
might
they're
not have won as many in a row that we won back at the start of the season.
What's the highest you guys got to?
third.
Third. Yeah.
We got to second at
I
one
think
point.
Carlton are just a much
Briefly.
better.
But you're second a long
Not the
time
other way
ago.
around.
Carlton was second like a month ago or something like that.
Yeah. Was that Joe?
I think ultimately Carlton are a much better list. So expectations should have been higher.
Yeah.
And They really have not met expectations.
I was expecting to finish
Injuries aside.
8th or 9th this
You can
year.
say Essendon, Carlton, whose expectation? Talk about Collingwood, mate, because they were they were reigning premiers, and they're below both of us.
But teams get premiership hangover. It's not like they started looking good and went to shit. They've been very mediocre all year.
Yeah, but it's still a bed shitting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
I
you'd
think
have
it's
to say,
less of a bed shitting than getting into the top two and then missing. Well, especially getting to the top two so late in the season and then missing it. That's a real bed shitting.
Yeah.
Collingwood's more of like a light bed wedding.
Right. Yeah, I suppose. And I guess you can sort of, rest on your laurels. You've won a premiership, and it's like
their season goes a month longer than half the rest of the competition. So.
And we've achieved that, so but a premiership's hard to win, and you got to strike.
You can get 3 in a row.
Yeah, you got to. And you got to strike while the iron's hot. It was their season to continue to prosecute their case, and they failed it. So,
but also, didn't they kind of pull one out of the bag? Because wasn't it a couple of years before that where they'd culled the list and people were saying they'd made all these fuck ups? And
they had a
they
really
turned it
really
around in
season.
18 months. And
they had a
furious
turnaround.
They really finished second last or third last.
In
they
2021 or something like that. 2020, 21.
I mean, the thing is, I think with Collingwood, they've been had.
Yeah.
They had last year a very exciting, quite frenetic style of play, quite like a real chaotic energy where they just wait to be losing and not by that much.
Yeah.
And then shift gears and
the comeback Collingwood, the comeback Kings.
Collingwood comeback Kings.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think they've been had, and I think if I'm allowed to shift gears from shitting on Carlton to shitting on Collingwood, I love to see it because I ultimately think that they are. Yes, they won a premiership. That's great, good for them. But they have been worked out.
Yeah,
maybe they went to the movies after the grand final.
I think it's a premiership hangover, but I think it's ultimately that last year. Like, if this year is crazily equal in a certain way where the top 8 is hard to predict, last year was also quite equal in a way where, Carlton literally just came back from being behind in the last quarter. I don't know how many times last year, but many times.
Yeah, for sure.
So they've just kind of they fell their way upwards last year, and then
they did that a bit this year too. But good teams do that.
Yeah. You're hearing it more and more. St Kilda have lost many games this year by less than 10 points. So
I think it's bloody hilarious.
It's not that hilarious, and you're losing all those games. But the Saints had our number a few weeks ago. I think that one was that one was a compounding one because that was a week after the Crows, which we were expected to win and lost by a close margin. The Saints, another one we were expected to win, and they belted us.
It was one of the 50% of games this year where we've decided to turn up and play well.
Yeah, and you did, absolutely, to your credit. You had a great game against us, but have you gotten to many games this year?
That was my first.
Okay.
It was my first Saints game, but I went to a game at Optus Stadium when I was in Perth recently.
I think you would be the first, or certainly we haven't been there, so you'd be the first person on this pod to have been to Optus Stadium. Can you give us a quick rundown? How was it? What did you like about it? Stadium-wise, good stuff? Good experience there?
As a stadium?
Yeah.
Shiny?
Yep.
Fancy? Bright. Lots of bright lights.
Yeah.
A lovely location in the park. Cool stadium. West Coast fans? I don't know. Also not that a pretty shit game ultimately because it was against Hawthorn and Hawthorn just kind of ran over them at the end.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Fair enough. Yeah, it looks like a bloody beautiful stadium on the television. I'd like to go check it out one time. Yeah.
Tell you what, going to the St Kilda Essendon game with a couple Whoppers was a lovely experience.
Which Whoppers did you go to that one with?
I went there with the Duke and
Doggy Dog,
the Doggy Dog, and Sam Harvey
and Halfstar.
Yep.
Beauty.
Yep. And I didn't lay it on too thick at the end when I was celebrating, and they did not begrudge me my pleasure.
Yeah.
Experiencing at least one win this season. Yeah.
For sure. No, I mean, you got to rub it in for a bit. No matter how it's being received, it's your time to shine, man, because you won that, and it's yours. It's your time. It's your time. So, yeah.
At the end of the day, I love to shit on Carlton. I love to shit on Collingwood. I do not actually love to shit on Essendon. I've got a lot of love in my heart for Essendon.
Is that because you've got a lot of Essendon friends?
That's correct. My
Or
brother
is
goes
it-
for Essendon as well. I've
Okay.
just always...
Friends and family, Essendon people. So.
Yeah, you know, growing up in the area.
Yeah. And when they're happy, you're happy. Kind of.
Yeah, I also just the one there's I mean
I
we
think
need
that's
a
a weak
whole
attitude.
we need a whole episode to talk about my thoughts about the Essendon Football Club. But
Sure.
there are things about your
Well, we can talk about one or two of those things right
fandom,
now.
fan energy that frustrate me.
Okay, well,
But I have a lot of
obviously
love
Dave's
for-
ears have perked up right away.
I have a
after
lot more
saying
love
that,
for
so
Essendon.
Feel free
They're
to.
sticking out through the top of the
Yeah.
earphones.
Well, so I feel
Earphones are
I
halfway
mean
off his head
even
by now, but-
if I'm going to condense it for the people back home, I just really think that probably like Carlton and Collingwood, there is just an expectation of success for Essendon and Essendon fans that frustrates the hell out of me.
Okay, so you think we're
As a St
entitled?
Kilda fan, absolutely entitled.
Okay.
So entitled.
Yep.
Much more entitled than Hawthorn, who have actually been much more successful in recent decades.
Uh-huh.
And I do not get it at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to go for a football team that isn't that good and isn't that good for a sustained period. It is actually extremely normal because, as you said before, it's hard to win a premiership.
Mm.
A lot of things have to go right.
Yeah, it's hard to win a premiership. It's hard, but not as hard to win a final. And it's hard, but not as hard as that, to get into the finals on a consistent basis and have a chance.
How many grand finals have you seen Essendon lose?
In my lifetime?
In your lifetime?
It would be 1990 and 2001. Yep.
So two. I've seen
2 wins, 2 losses.
I've seen 4
Oof, Maron.
lost or not won grand finals
Yeah.
in my lifetime. And I
And that
expect
is
to
rough.
see many more.
Yeah.
And at some point, my ultimate frustration with Essendon fans is that I just feel like you should get better at losing. Just get better at losing because it's going to keep on happening.
I mean,
because
they
it is a
do
sport.
embrace mediocrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
but they
talked about
don't.
that
This is my
before.
point.
We have-
They don't.
we have.
They whine
They do.
so
At the
much.
start of the season, they have the expectations, but halfway through, when they're going shit, they make excuses for themselves. They're a club that I think I said previously. I just associate them, word association, Essendon, mediocrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got, every reason really to have those associations. Because that's all we've been able to produce is mediocre footy. But look, I just want to say that we've talked about this before on the podcast.
And I'll talk
We know-
about it whenever anybody likes. You should get more guests on with Joe's views on Essendon.
Break it up.
This is the first time I felt ganged up on the pod, but that's okay. It can't be Salty's show all the time.
But I mean, this is being in the whole WOPS. I mean, it is overwhelmingly Dons fans.
It is a very,
sometimes.
very, very
It's
heavily
just-
Dons biased chat.
Yep.
No one's arguing with that. No one can argue with it. So yeah, it's good to get some of the non-Dons Whopperinos to give it to me straight with both barrels.
Reality check.
A reality check. Yeah.
Since you are so
And
consistently
Tom-
mediocre,
Tomo back. But before you go ahead, Joe, I just want to say Tomo back there is just cowering because he doesn't want to come to my or Essendon's defense here. Anything to add?
I'm too busy.
Too busy making the sounds. He's doing.
I,
well.
I, I agree with a lot of it, but
Me too.
it's also a subset of people
Yeah.
who acted this way.
That's
and
true.
there's and we'll give a shout out to what's his name, the channel, the YouTube channel. He's always making videos every
Herbertron.
week. Herbertron, because he's really the pulse of the Essendon fans. He's hitting where we're feeling.
He knows
the
where.
vibe.
Yeah, he knows the vibe. Yeah, he knows the vibe. Well, while we're shouting out Essendon fans, I want to shout out Jade Hockey because she's just one of those footy people that just relentless optimism. I don't know where it comes from. But
Who's Jade Hockey?
God bloody love her. Oh, she's just a Don supporter on Twitter.
Right.
But a fair, I think she's got a fair following among Don's fans because that's all she does, really. It seems like, she's just one of those people that's just all about the footy club. And just relentless optimism, and I noticed her mainly because of how shitty everyone's been on them for the last few weeks. And she's one of those that are just still, probably one of the types of supporters that the players see turning up at training and shit, and they're like, that's why I do it. Because there's people that actually give a fuck. They're not these wishy-washy, fair weather supporters, but there's people like her that are, literally with us through thick and thin, and will show up. And
There you
give
go.
us that.
Accepts mediocrity.
No, it's not about mediocrity. It's about following your footy club, no matter if they're good, bad, or in between. Don't you think? No, there's no nobleness in that. There's nothing to be admired there.
I mean, is she ever critical?
I'm sure she is, and probably in her private, domain. But when she's online and sort of, communicating publicly, I've definitely seen comments and posts from her saying it was piss poor and stuff like that. I'm sure she's not living in fucking Wonderland. But my point about her is that she just has some sort of reservoir of, optimism that seems never ending. And I don't know where she draws it from, especially at times like these. When
Maybe drugs.
Maybe, Dave. Maybe.
Heroin.
Maybe.
Fentanyl.
It's fandom.
But
I mean, I think it's honestly...
Jade Hockey out there, one of Essendon's biggest and baddest supporters. Love you, baby. Love you.
At the end of the day, I think, and it's down to this. I think if you're going to be so consistently mediocre, stop being so entitled. You have to take a lesson from a St Kilda fan. It's okay to be very passionate about a football team.
Sure.
Who aren't that good.
Yeah. Okay.
And so there's a real difference between optimism, like Jade Hockey demonstrates, and sheer entitlement, which is often what we see from a lot of people that talk about the Essendon Football Club or Essendon fans, in my experience.
Sure.
Just an expectation that you will magically become good when your list management is bogus and your performances on the field are not good.
That guy, Dodoro. Have we talked about him on this before?
I don't think we've mentioned
That's that
Dodo
guy,
much.
he must have been there for 20 years.
Yeah. I think he's been there since 1998.
Wonder.
Dare I say, fellas, he should become extinct.
For all the coaches and presidents and CEOs and all these other people who get the ass.
Yeah.
For that bloke to be there the whole time,
that's crazy.
Just baffles me.
It is
right. Even if he's done a good job, which I don't think he has, surely at some point you go, you know what, it's just not working.
Yep.
Let's try something else.
The thing is, he has
He's got photos of people doing that stuff for sure.
He's
It's
got
like the Shane
some
Watson
sort of dirt.
Football.
All right, well, say what you will about Dodo, but many, many times over the course of Essendon's 20-year reign of mediocrity, have we been wrapped with what Dodo's been able to pull off.
Then what do you do with him?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
We're wrapped at the time. We think, fucking, what a great get. What a great get. What a great get. And then, we just
but that can't all be down to development or coaching, right? Sometimes it's like, he gets a big name.
Yeah.
Right? And you feel like you've got to win.
Yeah.
Because you don't get many wins elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
He gets a big name and it's like, well, are they really that good?
Yeah.
Right? And time again, they just fail.
But I mean, regardless of, his, KPIs and whether he's meeting them or not, he has been there for way too long. 30 years nearly. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. It is fucked up.
It's a different sport.
And it is enough to sort of make you think, what the fuck does he have on him? Like you said, he's got some sort of photos or something. Dodo, if you're out there, don't love your baby. I think that's going to be one of the things, one of my catchphrases. Love your baby, or don't love your baby.
Yeah.
I'll give my judgment, Salty's judgment.
There's one last thing I want to say.
Sure.
You are extremely supportive of Jade Hockey's optimism.
Yeah.
And yet, I feel that Scoops, a St Kilda fan who demonstrates relentless optimism about St Kilda's chances.
Yeah, no, Scoops is a different kind of guy.
Disregarded, interrogated.
Look, I don't know this Jade Hockey character, but I'm tipping she's probably a little less unhinged than Scoop.
Yeah. I think
So what? My point is about how
Scoops
optimistic he is.
Well, I'll tell you what, the main difference between Scoops and Jade Hockey is Jade Hockey's never calling anyone a flog and telling them to fuck off, fuckwit, on her posts.
It must be said, I am not saying any of this to put myself in the pro-Scoops corner.
Sure.
I just... only his optimism.
Something
The
to point
optimism
out.
is the only thing I would support
Something to
about
I got banned from his page, and I never even did anything because I saw other people get banned all the time, and I'm like, I'm never commenting on or liking anything on this. It's just too good. I went in one day, and he was gone. And speaking of another thing, you know what else disappeared from Facebook recently?
No.
Number of days since Essendon.
Fuck off. No way.
It's gone.
No.
It disappeared, I think, maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe after that St Kilda game.
You are joking.
It's
I'm going to tell you to come
gone.
to in a moment.
Is it because they couldn't count that many?
I don't know. I was talking to a couple of
broke
people
Facebook
about it. Like
numbers.
someone goes, maybe the guy just shut it down. It's like, no way. I wouldn't be surprised if we got like report bombed by like a bunch of Salty Essendon supporters and it's just triggered something in Facebook and shut it down. But usually they would get the page back up, but it's gone. Can you find it, Ned? I haven't looked in about a week or so, but I looked for a few days straight and it's gone. I was fucking heartbroken.
There's a page here. Number.
Yeah, there's a bunch of fake ones.
Yeah, they're all new ones with small likes.
Yeah,
Dave.
Yeah.
What did you do, mate?
It's the end of an era. I don't know.
Maybe what did you do? Why did you finish the page?
Maybe it was the coverage we gave it on the pod.
Yeah,
just tipped it over that extra few likes.
It's all fake news.
That's like stuff. Well, I was just about to say that's like Trump losing Biden. It's like he wanted to hate on him, and now he's just now he's in mourning.
Come on, man.
I feel like you would be in mourning now, eh?
Vale number of days since Essendon won a final.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'll have to. Well, don't worry about bringing it up because it's not there. There's nothing to bring up.
Yeah.
There's nothing to bring up. That's fucked
up.
Put
out your salt.
I'm actually kind of disappointed about that. I wanted to see it fucking die.
You know who actually messaged me about it? Not long after I realised it. Stas messaged me.
No way.
And she goes, "Oh my god, that page is gone." I go, "What the fuck? How do you know that?" She goes, "I was trying to show Chris."
Oh fuck. How come you didn't mention? Did you save that up for the pod? Did you?
Oh, this was only a couple of weeks ago.
Oh man. I mean, why didn't you mention that in the Whoppers chat? Maybe you did save it up for the pod.
I'd probably maybe I kicked you all down a bit. And like also, it would have given you like a bit of an upper after like losing games. I'm like, no, leave him down.
I can't believe that's gone. What a piss poor. Well, I've called the guy a piss poor cunt before. Like he, you know what? He probably so that's been gone a few weeks. He probably thought. Maybe this was just before Essendon started to really shit the bed, and he got a bit scared.
No, you've been shitting the bed before that. Yeah.
That is piss poor.
Maybe he's just looked at it.
You got to commit to it. And people love it. There's people like Dave out there that you're letting down by shutting that down.
I like to think he watched you guys and he's like, I can't be fucked doing this for another 20 years.
All he has to do is add a number to a post every few days. He doesn't even do it every day. All he has to do is add a number. How much of a commitment could it possibly be?
Maybe he looked at your club and thought the 2 minutes I have a day to do this is not worth wasting on those.
It doesn't even take
what
2
did
minutes.
You call them? And that mentally weak team of cowards.
He's not wasting it on the mentally weak team of cowards. He's looking after people like you. Yes, the people that hate Essendon. That's his audience. It's not Essendon. It's not Essendon he's wasting his time on. It's people like you, Dave.
No, it's you guys.
People like no. Who's liking his post? It's not me. It's not Essendon people. It's you.
But I see
it's
it all the time.
Joe
every post he had
from
salty Essendon supporters would come on and whinge, and that made it just even better.
I don't actually.
I reckon Salty and the Champ put the heat on and he's run off scared.
I've said some things that Essendon fans might consider unkind.
Yep.
During this recording, and yet I do not consider myself an Essendon hater.
Yeah.
I simply want to present them with.
I feel that. No, I actually feel that.
Facts
Like, yeah, you're not a hater.
About competing in a team in a competition with 18
you're kind of
like
you're kind of like, hey, let me bring you into the fold here. Yeah, is what it's like.
Welcome to going for a unsuccessful team.
Yeah. I've talked. Look, I actually can't get over that. I actually can't get the fact that that's gone. I really wanted to see it. I wanted to defeat it. I wanted to defeat it, and now it's gone. Well,
and speaking of, things come to an end.
Things come to an end. I guess just like this episode. Was that an end?
Oh, I was thinking of a man that we want to remember.
Well, maybe we'll do that at the start of next episode. Yeah. But that'll be 3 weeks from. But that's okay. We'll leave that teaser. We'll leave that teaser in. Because it is, I guess, 50. Yeah, it's close to an hour, this one. So yeah, we'll bring that in the next one. But good call. We'll wrap it up there, people. We'll wrap it up there. That's an hour of Salty and the Champ for you. Another hour. Aren't you guys lucky? Dave, how'd you find this episode? I felt that was pretty
eventful. Yeah, strong. One of the stronger ones, I think.
Some stronger opinions on that as well. Yeah. Tommy, good stuff there. Tomo,
thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, big one from.
I appreciate what you do over there. Big day for Buttons. And Joe. Hey Joe, are you going to stick around?
Oh, I'm going to stick around.
Yes, I love it when the guests stick around for a little bit longer.
You want some more opinions from this guy right here?
Please do, because we've got a few things to. You know what? Maybe if people can stomach it, maybe we'll try squeeze another 2 out. We'll see how we go. I don't want anyone to overcommit themselves, stretch themselves. But we've still got a few things on the agenda here, so we'll see what we get through, and maybe we'll leave some stuff for next time. But we'll wrap it up for that one. Thanks,
Good job,
everybody.
Ed.
Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And we'll see you for the 9th episode, which will be the next one. God bless you, Tom.
I think I might have clipped then.
God bless too. Yeah, I reckon.
Should I close this episode out with a little ray gun move?
Yeah, please do.
Get it. We're getting it. You're making him stretch. Give him the full one there, Tomo. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. Reagan, we love you. Did I give her a "we love you, baby"? We love you, baby. We're on the fence with you, baby, because I think that's we said we were all just a bit puzzled by it. Yeah,
Still trying to work it out.
Yeah, I didn't hate it.
That's it.
Puzzled.
Just puzzled. I hope
I'm
you're not.
prejudiced.
I hope you're not.
Yeah.
Brent, I'm trying to get the words out here, Brenner. Thank you, everybody. We'll come back next time with some more fun for you. Got a few more things to discuss. Let's wrap it up. Peace out. Goodbye. Beautiful.
Thank you for tuning in today, and thanks to each of you for being a member of the Hot Whoppers community. You can contact the podcast at saltyandthechamp@gmail.com. Salty was dressed by Kmart. Champ was dressed by Gasman. Music used was written and performed by Zenivers, of Silverman Sound Studios. That is it for now. Don't forget to tune in again next time. I love you, goodbye.